everyone. Lonely Hermit here. Today we have our preseason interview with the coach of the Detroit Luxuries, Mr. Game Reviews. How are you doing today, my man?
You know what? I gotta say, I think I am doing fantastic to say the least. I'm just really excited for this league to finally get started in a couple weeks.
So am I. I'm very excited to see how this league kicks off. Super excited. So let's get right into the interview right away. You just mentioned the league. Obviously, that's going to be the topic of this entire interview. Right off the rip, how do you feel about the creation of the Elite Battle League? I actually kind of heard from Stone in the last interview that you were responsible for three of the members jumping into the league. So clearly, you must be a little bit excited about it.
Yeah, so I remember Matt Stone Family 64, the Lancer Braviaries. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he saw us as well, Lonely Hermit on the
Mhm,
on our Discord. He did say, "Hey, I'm planning on wanting to do this kind of Battle
mhm.
League. Whoever's interested, let me know." And I'm like, "Okay, cool. I'll get to try. Why not?" So he messaged me. He was like, "Yeah, so only you and I are the only ones who seem to be interested." And I'm like, "Okay, I'll make out a mass tweet, and whoever responds responds." And thusly, the Elite Battle League was formally created.
So you get everyone's together. This is right before the draft happens. Everyone's together. You guys, all six of you, all six members, are there. And at that point, did it start to hit you kind of like, yeah, this is actually happening?
Yeah, it really did. I mean, you know how it is. You have so many ideas for different collabs with other PokeTubers, other people, and you just have to make sure
Right.
it works around everybody's schedule. So it was
Yeah.
honestly crazy just to be like, oh my god! So we have our group together, we have our server, we have
Hmm.
like everything set up now. It's crazy. I'm very
Yeah.
excited though to see what comes of it.
So you just said you're excited, but are you excited to be a part of the first season? This is the inaugural season. This is where everyone's gonna kind of get introduced to different format. So are you excited to be part of the very first season of the Elite Battle League?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I'm just very I don't really know. Like I've always loved doing competitive, and I feel like the way how that this league is set up is going to be just so much fun.
Hmm.
Everybody who's participating, great group of people.
Oh
Everybody's
yeah.
been so welcoming, so kind, and just outside of this as well. I try. I think off Nuzlocke actually invited me into the server itself, like that, like our small PokeTuber server.
Yeah.
And like since I just walked into there, or I guess popped right into there, everybody's just been so nice, so helpful, so
Hmm.
like, oh, let's all help each other out, and that's just really been the case, and it clearly shows with the creation of the Battle League.
Hmm. Hmm. So much hype around this. It's honestly really awesome to see, like you said, with the small PokeTubers in our little corner of the community. It is really awesome to see something like this spawn out of that. But shifting focus from the league as a whole to your team, what exactly are you hoping to achieve in this first season?
I mean, you know what? I hope to kind of just come out on top. I know that this league is going to be very difficult, especially with the no items being in play.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of made me look back on this Pokemon I wanted and kind of edit things around. But at the end of the day, though, I mean, I'm happy with the Pokemon that I chose, and I think we're going to be good.
So, moving to your team name, was there any specific reason why you chose Detroit Luxuries? Did it come from somewhere? And at any point, were you considering any other names for your team?
So I feel like I feel like just like everybody else. So yeah, I'm a Michigander, so
Mm.
like Detroit. Everybody knows about Detroit and Michigan, and Detroit's just
Yeah.
like that hometown of all the sports teams and everything. So I'm like, okay, let's stick with Detroit. And then when it came to the Pokemon itself, I wanted to just kind of be some lion Pokemon that was in Sword and Shield because I already knew Luxray was going to be on my team. I already knew whatever Pokemon was my mascot, they were going to be
Uh,
on my team. And actually, a little fun fact about my logo specifically, um, I actually did a custom paint job on Luxray. So like it's normal shiny is
Mm.
like black with that
Yeah,
orange tint. Yeah, no, so I ended up
yeah.
just kind of doing like some color edits to kind of give it the color of the Detroit Lions, which is Honolulu blue, silver, and black. So I kind of gave my nice little spin on it as well.
And it did come out well. I like the colors on it. I didn't know it was called Honolulu Blue, by the way.
We learned something new.
Yeah. um, so moving towards your drafted team, you mentioned you picked up Luxury, obviously, but looking at your team, what was the plan heading into the draft aside from drafting your mascot?
So I already knew the first Pokemon I wanted to get on my team was Alolan Ninetales. My set with it, I've used it in so many different battles. And I just know how good it is. So like I'm like, okay, if there's one
Uh,
Pokemon I cannot live without, it's Alolan Ninetales. So I just kind of like made a list of 9 Pokemon I wanted on my team. Like these are the Pokemon I want, and funny enough, I'm the only one in the league who didn't get their picks stolen from them.
nice. Uh, that actually was my next question if you had any picks stolen, but it seems like it just went all according to plan for you in the draft.
Yeah, I stole some other people's Pokemon, but they were too slow to the draw.
So, looking at your team, after the draft was all said and done, you maybe start building your team, whatever. Just looking at it, how are you feeling about the team that you drafted?
So I'm happy about it for the most part. I don't really have that many of tanky Pokemon. Most of my Pokemon are definitely glass cannons for the most part.
Uh,
Which I mean, like I'm like, all right, cool. But then when I'm looking at other people's teams, they all have some pretty good like setup Pokemon. I'm already expecting to kind of deal with some, toxic spikes, stealth rocks, stuff like that.
right.
But like I already know I'll be able to get through it for sure. The lack of bulkiness I do have again does kind of counteract with it with the typings and the basically the attack and special attack as well. I feel like some of my Pokemon I do have could hopefully warrant in some swaps and therefore kind of give
Yeah.
me a chance to set up myself.
Yeah. So, individually, for your team, are there any standout Pokemon that the other teams need to keep an eye out for?
I would really say Alolan Ninetales definitely. I think Alolan Ninetales and probably Galarian Moltres should be the two heavy hitters. Those builds are some of my favorite builds I've done, and I've used both of them online a lot of
Mm.
times, so I know how they work.
uh, so with that being said, would you say Alola Ninetales and or Galarian Moltres would be your MVP candidate from your team?
Absolutely, I'm gonna say this
Mm.
right now. If it wasn't for, I'm calling him out on this. If it wasn't for Stone Family 64's idea of hey, no items, which I'm like, okay, cool, give me a challenge. Luxray would have been the MVP of this for sure.
Mm.
I had to honestly change up my entire Luxray set because of no items.
Right. So still looking at your team in terms of individual members. Do you think anyone on your team will shock everyone with how well they will perform in the season?
I'm looking at Rabombi, mostly because I don't think people really use. I don't think a lot of people have really seen Rabombi used in
Mm.
any kind of competitive field. Obviously, I mean, honestly, looking at my entire team right now, everybody's seen Alolan Ninetales, a Togekiss, Haxorus, Metagross, like everybody except for like Rabombi. I mean, no,
Yeah.
it's definitely frail. I will say that, but use it properly and you're good.
Okay. Okay. So look out for Bombi, everyone else in the league. Um, and speaking of which, moving on to the league as a whole, to you, which team is looking the most dangerous, not including your own?
I'm really scared of Guanacos. I'm just looking at it right now. He has a Shuckle and a Toxapex on his team. That
Mm.
those just scream uh recover, setups, poison.
Uh,
Like those are just scary. He also has a Cinderace, so I'm expecting to see some Libero coming in from that.
that's true. Yeah. It's funny. You're the first person that said him. the other answers I got were both the last two coaches I interviewed both said Crowbats and Derek. Both said Kinglers and the Score Bunnies. So it's interesting you gave a different answer. I mean, I feel like a lot of them are looking at what counters their team, so maybe that'll provide some different answers. You're looking at obviously two individual members, so you understand what they can do, maybe more so than the other teams. Maybe that's why your answer might be different from theirs. Obviously, not everyone's answer is going to be the same.
Right. I mean,
So,
kind of like what I was saying though. Again,
uh,
like my team doesn't have them. Again, my team's a bunch of glass cannons, and I'm just looking at the Miami Dragon Knights specifically. That's gonna be my
mhm,
biggest counter, and it's unfortunate that I'm actually going to week one against Miami Dragon Knights.
yeah. So it's kind of interesting because Stone's answer was more so Derek, and Derek is his first week matchup. So maybe that's affecting it because you're looking at that team more so than anyone else's. But um, still on the league, are there any teams in the league that you feel might be underestimated but do better than everyone expected?
um, I can't really tell you to be honest. I think we all
Mhm,
drafted really well. Um,
mhm,
I mean, I probably my biggest one will probably be the Chicago Score Bunnies, so Crowbats' team, just because
mhm.
of his build is focused mostly around rain and everything. So I'm definitely
Yeah.
anticipating a swift swim team for sure.
Mhm,
And I mean, but like, again though, because if we had items, I could tell you right now, would have taken that Gavantula onto my team and just
mhm.
throw a focus dash on it and sticky web the field.
Yeah.
Just that's just a strategic move in terms of we have items and everything, but since we don't, I want to see how he plays that Pokemon.
It'll be really fun to see him. I mean, the typical answers for teams that people expected to be the most dangerous was Crobats and Derek. I'm not gonna lie to you, since you'll probably see the interviews. The last two actually said you for
Really?
that last last question. Um, like I talked about with Stone, though, he totally agreed. This question, by the way, is not meant to put anyone down. It's not meant as like oh, they're gonna be bad. No, it's just we don't even know, and that's what I was telling him. Is we have no idea what you're gonna do with your team. I feel like a lot of people, like you mentioned earlier, might look at Ribombee and be like, well, that's like you said, that's not really a competitive Mon. Like, why would he have that on the team? But we don't know what you're gonna do with your team. I don't want you to tell us what you're gonna do with your team because I want to be surprised. Um, but that, yeah, they both said you, but they both said similar things. Like, but at the same time, like I've never really used these mons. I've never really seen these mons. Uh, Matt looked at it more of a point of view of like his team compared to yours, as in what he could counter on your team. Um, so I just wanted to throw that out there.
No, I do
But
see where you come from as
go
well,
ahead, go ahead,
though.
go
Oh, yeah,
ahead.
no, you're good, you're good. Well, because I'm looking at Matt's team right now as well. He definitely has some good counters for most of my Pokemon. Because I have like fairies, ice, dragons, flying. Those are my
Mhm.
majority hitters. So he definitely
Yeah.
has counters for all of them.
Yeah. But moving on from all of that, I know you've already done it, but here's your chance to plug it. Are you planning on releasing any merch for your team?
Yes, actually, yes, I am. So right now on my Teespring site, do have t-shirts, like a long sleeve shirt and like a crew neck sweatshirts right now of the Detroit Lux Rays, and I am gonna be having stickers on there as well once the site actually lets me update it to that. Whenever I try to, it's like, oh, we ran into an error and can't do anything. So I'm like, great,
The heck?
but yeah.
Also, now that we're about to wrap it up soon, I'll give you this time space right here as well to plug all your other stuff, your YouTubes, Twitters, everything you got.
I appreciate it. Thank you. So I do well, as you know, as the beautiful lonely hermit mentioned in the League Battle League announcement, I do let's plays all the time of fan games and everything. So
Mhm.
that's 99% of the stuff I do on YouTube was just let's plays and everything. I'm actually finishing up my current Let's Play, which is a quad lock at the moment, and then I'll be starting up my next Let's Play, which is a new fan game. That's not gonna be mentioned here. Aside from that, I do Shiny Hunt live streams. I do other things as well. I do Yu-Gi-Oh live streams. Um, and yeah, then also no, I want to keep up to date on everything, personal and YouTube. Check out my Twitter. Everything that I mentioned here is gonna be in the link down below. It's gonna be in the description
Yep.
down below as well. Links provided. And yeah,
And now, with all that being said and done, this is the final question I'm going to be asking everyone. Why are you going to be the champion of the Elite Battle League at the end of the season?
if you know sports, you know that everybody looks at Detroit. We're the underdogs, and I'm gonna prove that Detroit could actually win something.
I love it. I love it. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Our preseason interview with Game Reviews, the coach of the Detroit Luxuries. Be sure to show some love his way. Like you mentioned, all the links, of course, are going to be in the description. And also check out, obviously, all the other coaches in the Elite Battle League. And to you, Max, I wish you good luck for this season. And obviously, we'll be looking forward to what you are able to accomplish over the course of these 5 weeks here. Well, plus with playoffs.
Exactly. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm looking forward to see what comes of this, and I cannot wait to see how everybody else performs as well.
And that's that, ladies and gentlemen. That's that for our interview. I hope all of you have a fantastic day, and we'll see you when the league kicks off.
Take care.